Imagine it's Monday morning and you're just arriving at work. You're ready to start your day, and the first thing you do is clock in. This phrasal verb, clock in, refers to the act of recording the time of your arrival at work, typically using a timekeeping system. It's like saying, "Hey, I'm here and ready to work. Now let's fast forward to the end of the day. You've finished your tasks, tidied your workspace, and you're ready to head home." What do? You clock out. That's right, clock out is the phrasal verb we use to denote recording the time of departure from work. It's your way of announcing, "I'm done for the day." So whether you're starting your workday or wrapping it up, remember these handy phrasal verbs. Clock in when you start your workday and clock out when you finish. Now, let's say you've returned from a vacation and there's a pile of work waiting for you. You're overwhelmed, right? Don't be. Here's where our first phrasal verb for this scene comes in handy. Catch up. It's used when you need to update yourself on tasks, information, or work that you've missed. For instance, you might say, "I need to catch up on the emails I missed during my vacation." Now picture this. You've planned a meeting to discuss the backlog, but there's an unexpected power outage. The meeting can't happen, and you need to cancel it. What do? You call off the meeting. That's our second phrasal verb. It's used to cancel or decide not to proceed with a planned event or activity. For example, we had to call off the meeting due to the unexpected power outage. So when you're behind on work, you catch up, and if a meeting doesn't happen, you've called it off. Your week is getting busier, there's a training session scheduled, and your colleague is absent. Ever been in a situation like this? If so, you've probably had to use the phrasal verbs put off and fill in out. Let's dive into these phrases and see how they can help us navigate our office routines more smoothly. First, let's look at put off. This phrasal verb is often used when we need to postpone or delay a planned event or activity. For example, imagine you have a training session scheduled, but an urgent matter arises that requires immediate attention. You might say, "Due to unforeseen circumstances, we need to put off the training session until next week." By using put off, you're communicating that the training session has been postponed, not canceled. Now, on to fill in and fill out. These phrasal verbs are quite versatile and serve different functions depending on the context. Fill in is used when you are providing information or completing a task in someone's absence. So, if your colleague is absent and you need to take their place in a meeting, you would be filling in for them. On the other hand, fill out is used when you need to complete a form or document. For example, you might be asked to fill out this form before a meeting or event. So when you delay something, you put it off. And when you're covering for a colleague or completing a form, you're filling in out. Finally, it's Friday, you have a team meeting and a report due. Now let's dive into two more phrasal verbs that are pretty essential in your office routine. First, we have bring up. When we talk about bringing up something, we are not referring to physically lifting. In the context of a conversation, to bring up means to introduce a topic for discussion. For instance, imagine you're in a team meeting and you've noticed some communication gaps that need to be addressed. You might say, "During the team meeting, I plan to bring up the issue of communication gaps." Here you're using bring up to express your intention to introduce this topic into the conversation. Now let's move on to hand in. This phrasal verb is commonly used when you're submitting a document, an assignment, or any completed work. Essentially, when you hand in something, you're giving it to someone for their review or consideration. So let's say you've been working on an expense report all week and it's due today. When you're finished, you'll need to hand it in to your manager. You might say, "Please make sure to hand in your expense reports by the end of the week." Here, hand in is used to express the act of submitting your completed expense report. So, when you introduce a topic in a conversation, you bring it up, and when you submit a completed assignment, you hand it in. Let's do a quick recap of the phrasal verbs we've learned today. We've covered clock in out, catch up, call off, put off, fill in out, bring up, and hand in, all essential for smooth office conversations. These phrasal verbs will surely make your conversations about office routine more natural and fluent. Keep practicing and see you in the next video.